Hello and welcome to episode 7 of Cold Case Christmas. In this episode, we're going to look at the weird disappearance and probable abduction of 24-year-old Jennifer Kesse. Her family have never given up hope of finding out what happened to Jennifer, and they run a website called jenniferkesse.com, and it's from that website that I take this information. So Jennifer, 24 years old at the time of her disappearance, was reported missing when she failed to show up for work at Central Florida Investments on the morning of Tuesday, January 24th, 2006 in Orlando, Florida. She spent a long weekend with her boyfriend and other friends. She and her boyfriend lived hours away from each other. He lived in South Florida and Jennifer in Orlando. They called each other every day while driving to work in the morning and would speak to each other every night before going to bed. As this was a long-distance relationship, they only actually saw each other at weekends and at holidays. So after this long weekend of spending time relaxing with friends, Jennifer left her boyfriend's home in South Florida and drove directly to work in Orlando, not going home first, but directly to her workplace, as she would normally do when she stayed at her boyfriend's at the weekend. So Monday, the 23rd of January, was perfectly normal. Nothing amiss at all. She left work at approximately 6 p.m. She walked out of the building. Her boss and her wished each other a good evening. And, the usual pleasantries, we'll see you in the morning, etc., etc. That evening, Jennifer talked to her father, her mother, her brother, and later with some friends and her boyfriend by phone, as they usually did. Nothing unusual whatsoever. But those phone calls were the last anyone has ever seen or heard from Jennifer. The telephone call to her boyfriend at 9:57 p.m. on the evening of the 23rd of January 2006 was the very last time anyone heard Jennifer's voice. Jennifer and her boyfriend didn't talk the morning of Tuesday, January 24th. He was a little bit concerned because that was their normal routine, but he called her at work. There's loads of reasons why she might not have called him, or he couldn't get in touch with her. But he called her and was told that she hadn't arrived yet, which was odd. Jennifer was incredibly conscientious, a hard worker. If she was going to be late for work, she'd call them. If she was sick, couldn't make it into work, if there was an emergency, she wouldn't just leave her co-workers in the lurch. She'd call them. So her boyfriend really was concerned at this point, and so were her employers. Her boss was concerned as well. Her boss called her family to see if they knew where Jennifer was. The family tried to contact her at her condo. They called her cell phone. They tried to contact her by email, but all attempts were unsuccessful. There was just nothing. So they called the cops. The journey into this hell that the family have faced began right there. Within 2 hours of not being at work, her disappearance was known and being acted on by both family members and the police. Upon reaching Jennifer's condo mid-afternoon, nothing was amiss. The family went around. It wasn't like there'd been a scuffle or a fight. There wasn't things broken. Everything was just normal. Everything was in its place. She'd obviously slept in her bed. There was a wet towel in the bathroom. The shower was wet, so she'd taken a shower in the morning. There were some clothes on the bed that she'd been thinking about wearing or choosing something to wear that morning. Everything was fine on the Monday evening when she made the calls and that last call to her boyfriend. And seemingly everything was fine in the morning. She'd slept all night. She got up for work as normal. So this is where things got really strange. On Thursday, 26th of January, around noon, police were notified that Jennifer's car was found It had been abandoned in a condominium complex just over a mile down the road from where she lived. Her car was parked by a suspect on video, who pulled into a visitor's car park space, waited 32 seconds to exit her car, and then walked away, never looking back. So, we're going to watch the video of this suspect. Okay, so this is the video from JenniferKesse.com, and this is a person of interest. So you see the person here walking along. It's very, very grainy. Can't make out who it is at all. Looks like a male figure. And then you see them much more closely on this. Now this is 2006. I mean, cameras then weren't as good as they are now. But it's weird because there were valuables left in Jennifer's car. So the police didn't feel that this was a robbery or a carjacking, but this was an abduction of Jennifer herself. Live scent tracking dogs, bloodhounds, tracked a scent from where her car was found back to her condo complex, losing the scent on Jennifer's condo property. Detectives believe that the suspect might have returned to her condo's parking lot after abandoning the car, and it was actually his scent that the dog was tracking. But no other evidence whatsoever was found along the route. A forensic examination of the car revealed little by way of evidence, just one latent print and a small DNA fibre, but not enough. Investigators deduced that the car had been wiped down. The following items are known to be missing: her cell phone, her iPod, which she regularly took with her, the keys to her condo, her purse, her briefcase that she took to work, and obviously the clothes she was wearing. And most importantly, Jennifer herself. Nothing by way of a trail. The police were unable to ping her cell phone because its power just remained off. Her bank account has not been used since her disappearance. Of course, the family, close friends, her boyfriend were all questioned to see if any of them could have had a motive to abduct her. There was an ex-boyfriend. He was a bit upset. He wanted to get back together with her. He was interrogated, but it was concluded that family, friends, the ex-boyfriend had nothing to do with her abduction. Alibis checked out. They were eliminated as persons of interest. All her co-workers were interviewed. Her computer was taken for forensic examination. A co-worker, it was kind of found out, desired a relationship with her. Then she'd spurned his advances. But there was nothing. He was ruled out as a suspect. Now, at the time of Jennifer's disappearance, the condo complex that she lived in had been undergoing expansion and renovations, and there was a lot of labourers on site, and Jennifer had told her family on several occasions that the construction workers, they catcalled, they whistled, they harassed her. She was aware of it, enough to tell her family, which is a worry. Just the odd catcall, wouldn't tell your family, would you? But it was enough. It was enough to tell her family. Investigators and Jennifer's friends and family believe that she was abducted, possibly fell victim to human trafficking. The case has received a lot of attention in the media. It's received national press attention. She's still considered missing and endangered by the Orlando Police Department, the FBI, Orange County Sheriff's Office, and a range of other agencies. There's over 16,000 pages in Jennifer's file, but not one page of that file has resulted in a lead that has led them to find out what happened to Jennifer. So according to her FBI missing poster, she's white, 5'7", weighed about 130 pounds, eyes green, hair sandy blonde. She's got a shamrock tattoo on her left buttock. It's been a long time now, but Jennifer deserves to come home. Her family, friends deserve to know what happened to Jennifer. Any tips, anything at all that you might remember if you were in the area on that day, or you've seen someone fit in Jennifer's description, then tips can be called into the FBI directly at 1-866 838 1153. So many thousands of missing people who deserve to come home to their families. Jennifer is one of thousands. Let me know your thoughts about this case, and I'll see you very soon in the next episode of Cold Case Christmas. Bye, guys.